If you're a Christian, this is going to really piss you off. Swarms and swarms of military-aged Muslim men. The area that I'm in right now is, I'm not joking when I say, completely Muslim. This is not like one of those tourist videos where you can just yell to the police. Like, if something happens here, I'm fucked. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here today in Vienna, the capital city of Austria, the city of music, the epicenter of European culture, of high society, the home of Mozart, followed by Beethoven, followed by Strauss. Take your pick, ladies and gents. The Marriage of Figaro, Für Elise, the Viennese Waltz, the Blue Danube. Take your pick.
Vienna waits for you.
This is one of the great European cities, surrounded by absolute beauty. It's also the scene of the Battle of Vienna. It's 1683. The Ottoman Empire is looking powerful, imperial, bloodthirsty, and they look absolutely inevitable. And so they thought they would come and try and take Vienna, one of the great cities of Europe, the epicenter, as we said before. And after months of this battle, after a war of attrition, the Viennese were hungry. They were demoralized. They were getting battered. And then, what's that you hear? Is it the largest cavalry ever assembled? Yes, it is. In comes the Holy League, a coalition of Christian states led by the famous, battle-tested Polish winged hussar. They come along and they completely and utterly destroy the Ottomans, and it ends the Ottoman expansion into Europe. In fact, they're defeated so badly that the Ottoman generals are publicly executed when they go back home. And you fast forward now, and the year is 2025, and the battle for Christian civilization in Europe rages on.
Marksiści, lewacy, tego się boją, patrzcie! Zwyciężymy jeszcze raz! Ave, Ave, Chrystus Rey!
It's been dormant for a little while, but 300 years later, Christians are once again at war for their civilization. And who is the perpetrator? Is it the Ottomans? No, because after they were defeated, they slowly began to recede into the abyss of history. This time, the battle is against white globalist liberals.
After days of despair for thousands of migrants in Budapest, the Hungarian government has taken the decision to bus the asylum seekers to the Austrian border. It marked a softening in approach from authorities.
We are happy to live here.
Yeah. In the very, very bad position. Allah.
The next stop is Vienna, with trains departing Nickelsdorf every 30 minutes.
These scumbags have allowed mass immigration into this country. Those that formed the once great Habsburg dynasty would be rolling in their graves, because all of the blood that was spilt to maintain Christian civilization, to protect the empire, is now in vain. These white liberal scumbags, the globalists at the European Union, have allowed the sort of Islamic immigration, mass Islamic immigration into this country, amongst others surrounding, that the Ottoman sultans in the past could have only had a wet dream about. And so the battle rages on. After the Battle of Vienna, the slogan was as follows: "We came, we saw, God conquered." But this time, it's a little bit different, because the walls have already been conquered and the enemy lies within. The threat lies within. So behind me you see the Vienna Cathedral there. First church of Vienna, survived the sack of Vienna, survived the Battle of Vienna. We're going to go inside and we're going to have a little look around. So this was first built in the 12th century, and then in the 13th century there was a Roman expansion, and then after that, over a period of over 150 years, 14th, 15th, 16th century, there was a big Gothic transformation, and you can really see that here. This is an absolute stunning cathedral. One of the most beautiful I've ever seen. Incredible. Every single wall, every single little detail, every single staircase, every nook and cranny of this entire place is just carved with absolute precision and beauty and excellence, elegance, magnificence. Imagine not being a Christian and coming here and being like, oh. You'd surely just walk in here in places like this and see the beauty of it and understand that this is what's up. That this is it. This is the truth. Surely. And the outside is just as amazing. Absolutely incredible, the amount of detail that goes into these places. I mean, you just can't underestimate what goes into this, and it truly does epitomize the notion that people build structures for God. They build structures that they will actually never get to enjoy themselves, and that is actually what makes the world turn when you really think about it. People sacrificing for tradition, and people caring about the future and caring about beauty and aesthetics and inspiration and all of these things. They know that they won't necessarily enjoy the fruits of their own labor, but history will. And history will remember. All right, so take note of this. You've got this beautiful old architecture here. More of it. Beautiful old buildings everywhere. And then you have this abortion. Ugh, what the hell is even that? And then this. Beauty.
What's that, brother?
So just behind me here we have the Mozart House of Vienna. This is a museum that was opened in 2006 for Mozart's 250th birthday, and it's also where he used to live. So let's go in there. So interesting place there. I mean, it's so cool to just be able to walk in the footsteps of people like Mozart. Like, he actually lived in that apartment. They said you're not allowed to get footage, but I mean, come on, we're gonna get some footage. I managed to sneak a little bit of B-roll. But you've got a few apartments above which are more museums, and then you go to the second floor and it's actually where he lived. It's his apartment. It says he was 27 years old when he moved in there with his chick, who was 22. He was getting a bit of prominence and a bit of wealth in Vienna, so he needed a suiting apartment, and that was it. Apparently that was, back in the day, that was living. The coolest part for me is that whilst he was living there, he wrote The Marriage of Figaro, which is my favorite Mozart piece by an absolute mile. He was probably sitting there on an old creaky desk with a cool ass chair, slick outfit, and wrote that entire masterpiece. And he was 27 when he lived there. I mean, I'm 29. What were you doing at 27? Anyways, on to the next. Wouldn't be a tourist if I didn't get some street food. Get a Wiener, hey? Get a... No, I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna eat a Wiener. Let's just say it. I'm gonna eat a Wiener. Cut that out. Gonna see how they do it. We had some German sausages in Berlin, and now we've got the Austrian sausage. We'll see what the Austrian Wieners are like, hey? I will report back.
What? You're gay? I had no idea.
Interesting setup here. Apparently the ketchup and the mustard and everything's all inside. So be careful when you're eating these Viennese street sausages, guys, because the bread rolls are seriously messy. Clean myself up now, but I was walking along and I saw a lady walk past me and staring at my chest, and I thought that she was admiring my pectorials, and then I was pretty happy with myself, and I looked down and saw that my whole entire shirt was covered with breadcrumbs. So it wasn't the compliment that I first assumed, but otherwise it was a good winner. So here we have St. Peter's Church. It's another Baroque church. Let's see if it has anything on the other cathedral. So another absolutely stunning church. They just never cease to amaze. I mean, you walk in there and you walk down the aisle and you look up and you just see layer upon layer upon layer of exquisite detail. And then you look up to the roof and there's this beautiful painting on the roof, and it's like, how did you make it? How did you get up there? How was it I don't know. Hundreds of years ago. It's just like, these days we don't make anything that even remotely resembles the beauty of these old cathedrals. There's nothing even close. Yeah. You guys if you've never been to Europe and gone and seen these cathedrals in person, it's a must do before you die. So I've just walked from the cathedral to the Hofburg Palace right here. This was the home of the Habsburg family during the Habsburg Empire, and then it was home to all of the emperors during the Austro-Hungarian Empire, and now it's the residence of the President of Austria. Let's go in and check it out. We're going to go looking now at the library. There's a library nearby. We'll check it out. But on the way, we've got So the State Building, or the Austrian Library, was probably my favorite thing that I've seen in the city so far. I mean, the cathedrals were absolutely amazing, but there's something about the State Buildings that are always quite unique to the places that you're going to. And as much as it is absolutely beautiful with all these nice spiral staircases and books, it literally looks like something out of a Harry Potter movie. They've also got, surrounding the whole back half, pretty much the political history of Austria from 1930 onwards. So you've got the whole history that they've got with obviously the Nazis and then the communists, and then eventually joining the European Union all of the strife that they went to when they were really in a lot of trouble in the 1930s, 40s, 50s, until eventually they became sort of like a negotiation state, like a middle ground state with the Americans and the Soviets. And then things started to really look up for them. I mean, they had a pretty good period there, a bit of a booming period in the late 20th century, and then it even goes through how they started to get women into politics, and then obviously everything just goes downhill from there. Women in politics, straight downhill. They had things with the Greens Party, with females, and now mass immigration. I mean, it goes into the early 21st century, and I'd be interested to see what the next installment says. Yeah, so that was that. We're gonna head out of this area now and go and check out a famous cafe that is nicknamed the Intellectual Cafe. All right, so as seems to be the theme of Vienna, this place is absolutely packed. It's got like a line down the street to get in. It's called Cafe Central, I'll show you. And so the reason why this is so packed and so popular is because of the history of it. This is the place where intellectuals used to meet. So pre-Bolshevik Revolution, guys like Vladimir Lenin and Leon Trotsky, who were exiled throughout Europe, would come to Vienna during the Hungarian Empire, or during the Austro-Hungarian Empire. This city was obviously the intellectual hub of the empire at the time, so they would come here and they would have a coffee and a piece of cake, and they would talk about revolution, about overthrowing the Tsar of Russia. So yeah, very interesting place. Cafe Central. Not going to be getting in there, not going to be waiting that whole time, but maybe on a quieter day you could get in. I was going to get a coffee, but then the lady was telling me how much she loves this passion fruit pistachio cake. And once again, guys, I've been pressured. They won't leave me alone. Beer, cake. The gym is going to be particularly needed when I get home. Alright, so finally done with the old town. Saw all I wanted to see. Unfortunately, the Beethoven Museum was closed, which sucks a bit. And I can't see the Schirmberger Castle. It's definitely not how you pronounce it. But such is life. And now what we're going to do is I'm on a Lime scooter and I'm going to take you guys down the Danube River. And I'll show you the surroundings until we get back to the car, which I've got to go and retrieve somehow. We get to see the outer regions of the city as well when you get out of the city center, so that should be interesting too. Let's check it out. I've got to be kind of careful because I don't know where I am right now, but just riding back I stopped in just a side street as you get out of Vienna main town. Heavy Muslim presence here. Like pretty much everyone is Muslim here. Crazy. Just outside of the old town, like we're still very much in Vienna right now, and it's just, yeah, we'll keep walking around. So I'm right in the middle of like the council estate, I think. I've just literally chosen a random spot, jumped off the river and just started walking around. Not overly safe to keep filming the whole time, I don't think. Not many Austrians in sight, let's put it that way. Lots and lots of military-aged Muslim men though. This area is pretty sketchy. Very heavily Islamified area you're about to see. But there's just a massive church in the middle. Let's call it a multicultural melting pot happening around the church. If you're a Christian, this is going to really fucking piss you off, as it's pissed me off. I've got to do this quick because it's not very safe for me. But what you've got behind me here is called the Church of St. Anthony. It's an old Christian church here in Vienna. And then when you've got behind me this way, as you can see, is swarms and swarms of military-aged Muslim men You go around here and it's the exact same story. Absolutely everywhere, and the whole entire thing, watch this, has been desecrated the whole way around back to front. The whole entire way around. Alright, I'm back now. I had to go away for a little while and come back because I was getting a lot of death stares and a lot of people, you know, tapping each other on the shoulder and pointing and stuff, which I'm pretty street smart. I know when there's trouble brewing, and I think there was back there. So I went away for a bit and I'm coming back. It's now dark. That might seem counterintuitive, but I guess you're gonna have to trust me. That's what I'm telling myself. Just to set the scene a little bit, the area that I'm in right now is, I'm not joking when I say, completely Muslim.
Drugs, rapes, knife attacks. Vienna's infamous Favoriten district continues to make headlines. Although Austria ranks 5th in the World Peace Index and is therefore one of the safest countries in the world, the incidents in the multicultural district of Favoriten are likely to have an impact on the upcoming EU elections. The anti-immigration FPÖ party is predicted to win by a landslide.
There are no Austrian people here at all. So, and this is not like the other travel videos where they're in the tourist hotspots and they're looking at like scammers and that sort of thing, and there's always police right nearby. I'm out in the suburbs right now. I'm completely by myself, and so I do have to be careful with this. What I'm recording right now is the desecration of a church, and I'm just showing you guys how this church has been graffitied on. Obviously this would not be the case if that was a mosque there. There's a lot of Arabic writing on the church, and there are just hundreds and hundreds of Muslims around this church. So I'm gonna go back in, document this a little bit more, make this quick, and then I'm gonna get out of here. Alright, I'm gonna go around to the other side now, document that. There's more people around there. Like I said before, guys, this is not like one of those tourist videos where you can just yell to the police. Like, if something happens here, I'm fucked. So, let's keep going. Alright guys, back in Vienna for our second day. I wanted to go check out a few more areas that were recommended to me just to sort of see the urban decay around this once great place. So I'm gonna go check them out before I have to fly out, as going to Belgrade today. So before that happens, let's check some of this out, shall we? Alright, so the place I'm in now is apparently one of the worst places in Vienna for knife crime and for crime of all sorts. And I'm telling you, you guys will notice that the camera's a bit different. It's because I couldn't actually bring this camera out because it wasn't safe for me to bring my camera out. It is just fully Islamified. Like, this is not a European country. It's hard to actually believe that we're in Vienna. Yeah, I started walking down that road and I went to a church nearby, and there was a little bit of graffiti, but not too much. But there was a bunch of Arab guys all sitting on the benches around the church, and as I was walking around, they all started heckling me and like yelling out shit at me. Obviously I couldn't understand what they were saying, but maybe they were offering me drugs or something like that. It looked like that, but I actually couldn't get the camera out. I wanted to go and film properly around those places, but like I was looking at my surroundings. There are no police around anywhere, so I'm outnumbered here, like thousands to one. And honestly, that is not a safe place for white people. It's not a safe place for Europeans, which is sad to say, but it's just true. I mean, like I've said before, I'm a pretty street smart guy, and I've been to a lot of different places, a lot of sketchy places. That's one of the most sketchy that I've been to. I was getting dirty looks everywhere I was going, just like I didn't belong there. All right, I'm getting out of here, guys. I got to get back to the airport, drop the car off and everything, but just a final note here, a very, very stark contrast between the start and the end of this video. First of all, exploring Viennese high culture, all of the great cathedrals, even state buildings, the incredible history. I mean, one of the most cultured places in the entire world. And then going out into the suburbs and seeing the utter decay of urban society in Vienna, and the very unsafe areas that I went to. And I mean really, really unsafe. Like, I definitely did not feel welcome, did not feel like sticking around there one little bit. So it's very depressing. It's very black-pilling actually looking at this and seeing what is going on in these European cities. And I don't really know what the solution to it is, because these foreign cultures are so deeply embedded. But for anybody who's wondering, just understand that neocon warmongers and liberal globalists have done this. And many of these people who do immigrate, I want to make it clear that a lot of them are just good people who have had their home destroyed, looking for a better life. A lot of them are just fine. However, mass immigration like this just does not work, because these people don't assimilate. They form cultural enclaves like we just saw before. And for the many good ones that there are also some really fucking bad ones. And there are also some really violent ones. And for the ones who start up a shop and who want to be productive and contribute to society and want to start up a food stall and all these sorts of things, there are also the ones who are going to graffiti on churches like absolute fucking scumbags. And there are also the ones who are going to be accosting you outside of a church and trying to sell you drugs and heckling you and these sorts of things. There are also going to be the ones that engage in all of the knife crime, which is not really something that is emblematic of Austrian culture. So all of the knife crime happening in these places, needless to say, it's not coming from the native Austrians. Not a very violent people, the Austrians. So, I mean, you cannot have enough disdain for these people who have caused the downfall and the destruction and decay of these great civilizations, or once great civilizations. So, anyways, guys, don't forget to like the video, smash that subscribe button if you haven't already, and I will see you next time.